With the World Championships in Aachen coming up, every Grand Prix and every Nations Cup is about more than just that single competition. You may not win the Grand Prix or the Nations Cup, but you can book your spot on the team. Or not. That is coming up in just a minute, but first, the quick strides. Show jumping has lost one of its great craftsmen. Bob Ellis has died at the age of 79 after a short illness. Known to everyone as Bob the Builder, he designed courses for more than 40 years, traveling 33 countries across the world. The pinnacle came in 2012 when he built the Olympic courses in London, showing our sport to a global audience. Colleagues remember his leadership, his ready smile and his endless sense of humor. He launched many careers and always put others first. Bob the Builder will not be forgotten. Janne Frederik Zimmerman has left the Iron Dames team, and the way she explained it has touched many people. She titled her message, "The dream is over. Horses are not race cars." She said she had been a fan from the very start, proud to back women in a male-dominated sport. But two of her horses were taken from her stable and she disagreed on how they should be managed. Her words were simple. Success, she said, must never come at the cost of the horse. Simon de Lestre of France crashed heavily in the LGCT Cannes Grand Prix with his horse Gatsby. The good news first, the horse is completely fine, but de Lestre was taken to hospital with a dislocated collarbone, torn ligaments and a bruising to his head. He has undergone surgery and it all went well, but now his left arm must stay still for several weeks. And that raises one big question. The World Championships in Aachen are only 2 months away. Will Simon de Lestre be fit in time or not? And last autumn, 19-year-old Anastasia Nielsen became the youngest winner ever on the Longines Global Champions Tour. Some wondered if it was a one-off, a flash in the pan, but in Saint-Tropez in France, she answered them. On a tough course by the sea, only 2 riders jumped clear. In the jump-off, Nielsen went first and went clear on her horse ESI Rocky. Belgium's other young star, Thibaut Spitz, had to chase her, but the rail fell and the win was Nielsen's again. And the home crowd in Drammen, Norway, got its wish. The Longines EEF Nations Cup came down to a jump-off with 4 nations tied on 4 penalties. Last year, Belgium broke Norwegian hearts there, and this time it was different. Geert Gulliksen, the final rider, went clear and fast in under 32 seconds to clinch the win for the home team. Belgium took second and Germany third. The result sends Norway through to the semi-final with only 1 qualifier left in Budapest. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Horse Show. We are 2 months and 3 days away from the start of the show jumping part at the World Championships in Aachen. And a dedicated panel of Aachen or Championships experts will take us by their hand and lead us through last week's events. So welcome to the Horse Show, Joe Kelly and Gilles Thomas.
Thank you.
Hello. Why are you smiling?
Well, there was less than I was used to. I'm normally used to you picking on me at that moment.
Gilles, you are a championship expert. Can you give me insight on how many medals you have won at championships across youth and senior championships?
If I can count the youth medals also, 6 in the youth and then last year 2 in La Coruña. So
yeah.
8.
That's experience, that's championship material.
Go on.
No,
ask.
But listen,
ask.
I didn't want to go there, but you brought it up just before we started this episode. You brought it up, not me.
But if I had better teams with me, I probably would have championship medals.
Talking about teams, Gilles, you were in La Baule this weekend. We'll look into La Baule in a minute. I looked at your results, and they were quite impressive. You had 3 horses there. You rode 8 different rounds with those 3 horses. You only had 1 round where you had a fence down, or 2 fences down in case in that round. Of course, there was also the jump off. But for the rest, all clears or time penalties. Happy with your weekend?
Yeah, 3 nice horses there, and Especially I think Hermitage and Riesling van Roosacker were jumping amazing last week.
Riesling is maybe a horse that we don't know that well yet. He didn't jump the 5-star Grand Prix yet. Give it a little bit of insight. Who is Riesling? What is he like?
He's only 9 years old that I got, I think, the end of last year. So I have him now half a year. So I'm building him up towards the big classes, but it feels very good. Did like a 3-star Nations Cup in Lier, jumped double clear there. In Aachen, jumped almost every day clear. Now again in La Baule. So it's I think really a horse for next year.
Promising, yeah.
I was very happy actually you got him because I've got a 3-year-old by him. So you're making my horse. Yeah, he's making my horse more expensive every
that's
week.
good.
Actually, my wife's horse. My wife's horse.
Normally they always say it about Hermitage, but you're one of the first about.
I've got a nice Riesling. Yeah, it jumps as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had a very busy weekend in Centaur Park in Belgium.
Yeah.
Your kids rode. You had a few students there, and I saw that you rode 5 horses yourself.
Yeah.
That totaled to 14 rounds. With all not going there. With all possible respect, you just made your comeback. You kept on riding, but now you ride a lot again.
Yeah.
Do you feel that after a weekend of 14 rounds, 5 horses? Do you physically feel that?
No, physically I don't feel it. Mentally I feel it. Mentally I feel it. 2 kids, 5 horses, and a student, like you say. Yeah, mentally I feel it quite. Yeah.
Okay.
And then trying to watch all the Grand Prix and Nations Cups and follow Gilles. Yeah.
You're actually exhausted. Yeah.
Well,
You'll be happy that
okay,
it's the next day.
Yeah.
Gilles, La Baule, Joe said it's one of my favorite shows. He thinks it's the place where his son Liam got addicted to show jumping. How was it for you? Is it, like Joe said, is it that special, La Baule?
Yeah, I think for me it was now the second time that I could ride there, and yeah, it's an amazing show. It's also a tradition show. I think it's always very good in the calendar of the year. It's always a few weeks before the championship, and it's always a very important Nations Cup to do as qualification for the championship that's following in that year. And also, the atmosphere, the public, French people, they know the sport. And then especially when the French team won the Nations Cup, was a big party there all
Yeah,
week.
I can imagine.
We're just watching a bit of your round. How satisfied were you? Hermitage jumped clear and then second round for time penalty. Check, mission accomplished. Happy? How did he feel?
Yeah, actually very happy. I think La Baule was the first show again that I wanted to perform again with him. He had a break, he was a bit injured in winter. And then I was just waiting, took my time, because our main goal is the end of the summer. And then I got him also already in Aachen, but I knew I was not really there to perform. It was just more for the experience. I never rode there in Aachen so far, so also
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Incredible, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, normally it's always like 2-3 weeks before the championship, and I always choose to be fresh at the championship. So that's why so far I never rode there. So I was going like in May to Aachen, but it was a bit too early for Hermitage. But anyway, it jumped good. So now the next show was La Baule. I really want to perform there for the first time this year, and it jumped actually all week clear. So very happy.
Yeah, no complaining.
I'm very good.
Joe, no complaining about Hermitage. He refers to Aachen. I remember that we discussed Aachen a few weeks ago. We said, wow, the Americans really strong in that Aachen Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And yet, there is something happening with the Americans. In Abu Dhabi, first Nations Cup of the season, eliminated in the second round. In Ocala, home Nations Cup, lost in the first round. They went to Rome. They jumped 1 clear round out of 8 rounds for the American team. They went to Zangale, jumped 2 out of 8 clear rounds for the American team. Here in La Baule, didn't even make the second round again. What do you make of that? And should we be worried?
No, I don't think we've seen the A team out yet. We've seen riders there. that we probably know are going to the championship, but we've not seen. I think the chef keeps trying new combinations. Some younger riders. We saw their list of I think 10 or 11 riders, their long list or short list, and just testing new riders. I think it's good to give other riders a chance. I think other years we've seen a stronger American team, and I think now you've got 2 or 3 that I think are quite assured to go, and after that they need a 4th and a 5th rider. So that's the point now to find that.
Because here we just saw the refusal of McLean and Lester on the wall. That cost them the refusal, lots of time, and that knocked them out of that second round. That was a drop score, at least, is McLean Ward. I think this weekend might be a very important weekend for the Americans now in Rotterdam, Gilles?
Yeah, I think so. But on the other hand, there's always one that's performing well. So I think it's just a thing of time. If there's one team that wins every week, it's during the championship. It's sometimes better that it goes a bit less the weeks before. Then you're hungry and then you know how to work for the championship. So I think also like me, it's good that you go with a good feeling to the championship, but sometimes it's also not too bad to have a bit less results, and then the wake up is there, and then you go a bit more hungry to a championship.
Could it be that if you peak too early, that you're too confident? I'm not talking about continuing the peak, but being too confident about the good performance of a horse?
Well, I think no. I think confidence is an amazing thing in our sport. I think what we're seeing here is just people gone.
So with confidence, I mean that you might be too laid back, but it's going well anyway. Like Gilles said, if you're hungry, you want it more.
Sure, you need to be hungry, you need to want it. I think sometimes the worst trainings are at home are the best shows, because you're awake, your horse is awake. But I think what we're seeing here is, certainly on the American side, we've not seen the best riders. I think some riders already know they're going to the championship, and then they're just testing a few new riders, so we're not seeing the results there. I don't think it's anything to do with being too relaxed.
Okay. I want to bring up one specific rider. Clear in Abu Dhabi, clear in Ocala, now clear here in La Baule. Natalie Dean has made, has turned her career upside down. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but the results that she's bringing out lately here with Mr. Boombastic are just nothing short of fantastic. Of all the question marks that you might have today, we talk about today, this Answers coming up next week again in Rotterdam, is she top 5?
She's making a really strong case for herself, yeah. I mean, we've seen she's turned herself around. I think she's training with Jos Lansing now. You really see the impact that's had, having someone like that in your corner. And she's consistent. I mean, I think I've not seen her ride a bad round. I've seen her horses jumping better and better. So she's certainly up there on my list anyway. I'm not picking teams, but she's certainly on my list. She should be on my 5 at the minute. We've still got some Nations Cups to go.
Rotterdam is Caracol with Carl Cook. Rotterdam is Man Little with La Contessa.
Yeah, also strong.
Is Garant with Kelly Schott. And there is Katie Tynan with Out of the Blue SCF as well.
Yeah, I mean, Katie's been jumping some fantastic rounds, and that's just an incredible horse. We saw her at the World Cup final. Okay, that's really different jumping, of course, the World Cup final, but what a horse.
Okay. Germany led after the first round. Nothing but clears. They had 3 clears from their first 3 riders. America didn't make the cut, Italy didn't make the cut. Purely in theory, Richard Vogel was not supposed to go in, or could have stayed out and not jump that round in the first round of the Nations Cup. He did elect to jump it, and did it in a remarkable way. What do you make of his approach here, Joe?
I mean, I think when he went in the ring, he was thinking about the second round. I think he went in to make his horse work a little bit more than normal, wake it up a little bit probably for the second round. The only thing I don't understand is to do the whole round, make it work really hard in a 160 class. I don't think it helped him in the end, because I think the horse looked even a little bit tired in the second round. We've seen him jump better rounds. I found it a strange decision to jump. You know, the horse has so much experience. He won the
Rolex Grand Prix.
Rolex Grand Prix a few weeks ago. I mean, I don't know if there was a reason that he had to jump, but I found it a strange decision to jump. I thought the horse probably would have been better just going in for the second round.
Yeah, and maybe the how is also something with a question mark behind it. On the other hand, his teammates, wow.
Yeah,
you've had the bad luck of having to name the Nations Cup team for Germany already quite a few times, but
I think I did a pretty good job.
You did. Yeah, go ahead.
And I think I woke Daniel up a little bit, didn't I? Because I left him off the team, didn't I? And I think he just did that to prove me wrong.
Thieme double clear.
Wow.
With a huge smile on his face. Hinners, Sinclair, double clear. And Deusser clear, and 4 with Othello de Guldenboom. Statements being made, it's even more difficult. Gilles, do you want to try and name a team and pick a team?
Oh, that's very difficult, I think. Yeah, Germany is one of the strongest team at the moment. And yeah, especially for the championship, it's their home. But if I have to say now, I think, yeah, that definitely the horse from André Thieme with all the experience is in great shape again. And then Sophie Hinners and Richie Vogel, them 3 I would always pick. And then there are another few, I think Marcus Ening, Daniel, Koekoek for sure, the Olympic champion. So
how has his results been lately? He's not.
Saint-Tropez had the last fence down.
Yeah, I was watching the Grand Prix in Saint-Tropez and jumped actually very good. He had an unlucky fault on the last fence. They won also the team competition. He rode him 2 rounds.
2 rounds clear?
I think 1 round clear. He's also getting back again in shape.
And of course, if that is just, like we said, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes ago, if you're hungry and you peak at the right time, maybe he also, being an Olympic champion, has got a little bit more of not a wild card, but a bit of a free path to come to a certain point and perform.
It's much easier for the riders that know they're going early. They can make a little bit their own plan. Probably you knew quite early. Yeah. I think probably you knew quite early you can make a little bit your plan, what suits your horse, and that makes it easy, you know. When you've got to fight for your place, I understand your point, you know, it makes you hungry, but when you've got to fight for your place, you have to keep proving yourself.
That was also the strength of Sweden in the last couple of years. They knew it already in the beginning of the year what was a team, and they really could do their thing. And then at the end they were all fresh when they had to perform. So some countries, they have to jump already the championship before the championship starts.
Just to get selected.
And peak.
Yeah.
Peak early to show they're willing or can do it and can perform. And then...
Very good call. Talking about peaking at the right moment, if there is any Nations Cup that you want to win, it is probably your home Nations Cup. What a moment for the French. Here come the French with Malvet, Perrault and Herman. Fantastic performances from them. Nina Malvet, clear and 4. Herman, all clear. Perrault, 4 and clear. Is that the...
You forget Epaillard.
Yeah, but is that the type team that we will see? Is that your structure? Is that your base?
I think that's for France, I think that's the championship team, yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if Simon de Lestre gets back in time with his injury. I don't think so. I heard it's going to be quite close anyway. But yeah, I mean, winning on home ground, super solid team.
Yeah, we mentioned it already in the quick strides. De Lestre sent us a message, probably only riding mid-July. That is still 3 weeks from now. And then the horse hasn't jumped, and confidence. And how did the horse recover from
and get fit again, get up together again.
Yeah. You mentioned Epaillard. We didn't know, of course you knew, apparently there is a remarkable story behind the fact that Epaillard and Fringan de Vesquerie are actually competing there, or competed in La Baule.
Yeah, I think they were actually going as a reserve rider, as 5th rider, but because of Simon's injury, they They became in the team, and then Epaillard, he rode there 2 rounds. He's always riding good, but the 2 rounds was phenomenal to watch, especially the second round. He's so much feeling. I think his results also again in the Grand Prix really stood out for me.
Yeah, and cool in the head, you know?
Yeah.
To deliver that clear round, the last clear round really had to happen. It's incredible.
Just for me to understand, De Lestre was supposed to go there. De Lestre was going to fight there, ride there for his place on the championship. Now all of a sudden Epaillard comes in, rides double clear, also performs in the Grand Prix. De Lestre is out maybe with that injury long term, or at least for the championships. And Epaillard delivers. Does that from like that bring Epaillard into the French team?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think so. How could you not take him? Yeah.
No, okay, yeah, but it's because
experience, cool in the head, and a horse that can jump a championship.
Because we just showed some of the stats and some of the results. 11 meter 60 classes, 6 clears now, and 6-3 this weekend.
Yeah.
That is half of his volume. That's really, really impressive. What is it? 1.2 average round penalties per round.
I mean, also he's not had the horse that long. What he's done in a really short space of getting to know the horse and taking it onto this level is incredible.
Yeah.
But we're not surprised with a rider like him, you know.
No. Alternatives for the French team, if not Epaillard, who else is fighting there?
Sars, is it?
Nicolas Serres.
Says, yeah. He's jumping a lot of clear rounds. Kevin Stout.
Yeah.
Also, I think they're going to the Nations Cup this week as well.
Yeah, is in Rotterdam with Visconti and with Feline de Grey.
Who else is on the team this week?
Now you put me on the spot. Jean Sadran with Dexter, Antoine Herman with Giamo, I think, and the fourth
I mean, Dexter's also a championship horse. We'll see what he does this weekend.
Maybe less results than
recently. Recently it's less results, but I mean, they've relied on it before, haven't they? And it's always delivered.
Brussels Nations Cup. Let's bring up some results of the La Baule Nations Cup. The Coupe des Nations Barrière, a home win for France on just a single time penalty over those 2 rounds. Then Germany, Ireland, what a comeback from the Irish. We'll talk about the Irish later. Don't forget about them. Then Great Britain, Belgium, Switzerland, Sweden, Saudi Arabia. And then from that first round, USA and Italy in the Nations Cup. Straight into the Grand Prix. You spotted a horse that everybody should see. Chestnut Stallion. You're looking at me. Wait a minute. Where am I driving you? Ito de Riverland. Why should we be aware of Ito de Riverland?
Yeah, he was quite in the beginning of the Grand Prix, so I was at the end. So I was watching a few, and actually I didn't saw him so far, but he was jumping very good. I think it's only 9 years old.
Yeah.
And his rider is also a very good rider. And he had 2 little mistakes at the end of the course. I think it's maybe a bit of thing of experience.
9 years old.
But I think it's also for France in the future a real good combination to have.
François Xavier Boudin, son of Comme il faut, the horse, not François. Dam line of Corby, of Bluman, of Ito du Château, hence the name, and Sikos Chica of Gudrun Patet, in that family. He had a mistake at the end of the course. The bulk of the Grand Prix course was also at the end. That's where most mistakes happened. Maybe let's watch your round first, Gilles, how you rode that line specifically. Let's bring the round up of Gilles Thomas with Hermitage Cologne. You talk us through it.
So the 6 tries to the triple combinations were a bit nice. So I tried to have a good jump on the wall so I could wait a bit to the combination. And then the 4 tries to the plank were also quite normal. But I think at the end a lot of people had falls also on the plank just because they were a bit out of balance by jumping the triple combination. So that whole line, and also actually in the last line it started already on the wall. You had your horse a bit open after the water, and then you want to win a bit of time for the roll back on the wall. And also a lot of people think maybe, oh, a wall, it's actually easy jump, the horse back off a bit.
Yeah, let's bring some fences up, some images. 10 times it fell. No fence fell more than the wall. Why is that, Gilles?
Yeah, I think before was often that we had to jump walls, normally only like in the big Grand Prix. So the horses, they backed off a bit on it. But nowadays we have to jump it almost in every class. So actually we have to start riding it more and more than a vertical. And then, yeah, it was very smart put it there by the course designer. On a rollback, you really could win there a lot of time. Also, the 6 tries after the wall were a bit nice to get in the combination. So I think a lot of people, they thought, oh, the wall...
it's a gimme.
Yeah, but yeah, you have to jump it also.
Also, it was turning away from home, wasn't it? I mean, the way he placed it, turning away from home. And then I think you really had to get a nice jump on the wall to get the 6 properly.
Yeah, let's bring the telestrator up. Where did it sit? Where was that in-out gate, Joe? And why do you think it...
So the in-out gate is here. You had to roll back away, so you're coming away from home and then rolling back. And I think some riders coming around the corner, getting a little bit of deeper distance on the wall, so they weren't getting a very big jump. And then the 6 was really then getting a little bit long. Yeah. And I think the distance in between these two was very short.
Yeah, it was actually quite normal, the distance there, but because of the 6 were longer than everyone thought, you came with a lot of rhythm in the combination, and then the 2 sides got short, yeah.
And do you think that's because of the turn back away from the home and then not quite getting the distance?
Yeah, I think a lot of riders got their second distance on the wall, so they got all a kind of a deep landing, and then they still had to ride a bit to get a 6 there. And then they came already in and out of balance in a combination, and the whole line was tricky.
It's interesting. So second distance to the wall brings you deeper, steeper landing. The 6 to the triple combination get longer. Triple combination was Oxer?
Vertical Oxer.
Okay. Then you had second part of the triple combination to the plank. When you walked it, was it optically difficult? Was it in terms of distance difficult?
Okay, a plank is always a very light material, but the distance was actually normal. Was maybe a bit short, but you come out of a big combination, they always land a bit deeper, so that the distance was quite normal. But I think for a lot of people the fork came maybe even long or short, and because that all depended how you were jumping the combination. Yeah. And actually the combination was already on the wall that it all started. So the wall maybe during the course walk was like an easy jump, but at the end was a very important jump.
Led to the whole line, yeah. And I think actually Peter jumped the plank very good this time, didn't he? Yeah, casual. He really landed and got everything. It was nice to see. Yeah. Jumped good, casual.
And still you weren't there. 14 fences, long enough of a course. Fence 13. Was that something that you worried about, Gilles?
Fence 14.
Sorry, 13, the vertical.
Yeah, actually, when I was walking the course, I thought that would maybe be one of the jokers of the course, because it was at the end of the course, was next to the kind
Derby bank.
Yeah, the Derby bank. Also, the Liverpool was, I think, after the vertical, only 3 poles, very light material. But I think at the end, not that many falls actually on it.
No, here's Kraut who had it down. I think it only fell twice. You did see a lot of horses
jumping,
shift. Yeah.
Shifting a little bit away from the bank on the turn back, and also going towards home as well. End of the course, going towards home.
Last line had an impact on a few riders. Vogel was one of them. Deusser also had that last fence down, though they both rode it on 2 different approaches. Deusser rode it on the 6, Vogel rode it on the 5. Your take on that final line?
The distance to the last was actually a nice 6, because you also had to protect a bit already the vertical. That made that the 6 were actually nice to the last one. But it was also again smart from the course design. It was really through the gates. So I think all the riders and especially the horses there were at the end of the course thinking about their time allowed and wanted to be as soon as possible at the finish line, because actually, if you see that fence, it was like an old-fashioned fence. It was like normal material, actually a massive jump. But also, again, I think just a lot of riders, they thought from, oh, we have done it. We jumped already the light vertical. Now the oxo, it's just a thing of being inside the time now.
Yeah. Just gave up a little bit before the finish.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and that is round one of the La Baule Grand Prix. In a minute, we will be back right after the break with the second part, jump off, of course, and we are going to Barbieland. Spruce Meadows, I mean, in a minute, coming up here on the Horse Show.
The Longines League of Nations is heating up. This is elite sport on the global stage, where individual talent builds a national story, where pressure is shared and victory is collective. 10 nations, 4 qualifiers, 1 title. Welcome to Rotterdam.
I hope I'm gonna be as good as she is and try to achieve big things and win Grand Prix and make everyone around us proud, because everyone is doing so much for us that it's how I could give them back something.
Welcome back to the Horse Show. Still with me here in the studio, Gilles Thomas, of course, and Joe Klee. We're going to have a look at the jump off of the La Baule Grand Prix there at the Stade André François. Yeah, that's what the name of the stadium is. When I walk a course, Gilles, I struggle to remember all the fences, the lines, the distances, the approaches. When you walk a course, do you walk first round and jump off always?
Not always, but depends a bit on the horse you are riding. But yeah, actually, before I never did it because I thought it brings bad luck. But then I had a few times that I said maybe it's a good thing to walk also the jump off. And now actually I also, like for Grand Prix, I try to do it all.
So you walk this jump off?
Yeah, I walk the jump off, yeah.
We'll play your jump off. You take us through it, the jump off of Gilles Thomas with Hermitage Cologne.
So yeah, I was 4 to go. I could watch a few. Did like one less from 1 to 2. That's why he landed a bit deep on number 2. And then the 6 were very long for me. And in that turn he got a bit tense because I had to override him on the vertical before. And then yeah, I got there the fault, and then I thought I'm still building him up, so don't rush him here, and then just give him again a bit of confidence. And actually the rest of the jump off, he jumped it again very good. So it all started actually yeah, in the first turn. I saw Martin doing nice strides, and I thought that's the only place that I can win a bit of time, and I did there 8, but I got already 8 waiting, and then I didn't had a good forward jump on number 2, and then the 6 were very long. And also I think at the moment he's maybe still missing a bit of rhythm to straight also go for the win in the jump offs. He's a very careful horse, so I think he's jumping good now again, but for the jump offs I still need a bit more time, I think.
That's the thing that really strikes me. When you see him jump in the Nations Cups, he looks like such a cool guy and so relaxed. And then when you see the jump off, you realise how much blood he is and how sensitive he is. You know, you see there when you push and then he gets a little bit alive. You know, you make him look so cool. And
it's almost all the time equitation style.
Yeah.
And then you don't think about the fact that you have to sit so still, and the moment that you have to do something, that he actually tenses.
Yeah, the less I do, the best he jumps. But yeah, sometimes...
That's with every horse.
Yeah, that's with every good horse.
Yeah, with every good horse.
But yeah, if you like the jump-offs, I also had to build them in jump-offs really up. Some horses you can go straight away full gas in jump-offs, but him, I really had to build him up.
Teach him how to do it.
Yeah, how to do, because yeah, he's quite a tense horse. And now I think I didn't do a jump off since I was thinking, I think since Riyadh last October or something.
It's half a year, it's more than half a year.
So yeah, was actually not surprising that it didn't go that well yet.
And when you say you teach him how to do it, do you do that at home or do you do that on the shows?
A little bit at home, but okay, you never ride with that pressure at home.
Sure.
So you try to turn a bit shorter at home, but at the shows you can teach the horses best. Like before, when I got in a jump off when I was a bit younger, then I never tried really to win, but just tried to ride every jump off just 1 second faster, 1 second faster, and
Slowly
then
build up.
from last year on, from I think like Mechelen World Cup at the end of 2024, there from that on, I really could push him a bit more in the jump offs.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's break down the two men that in the end made the jump off, or at least fought for the win. This is the head-to-head. Joe, take us through it between Martin Fuchs and Piergiorgio Bucci.
Really cool jump off, you know. I think Martin just falls a little bit behind Bucci here. You see he's sort of half a length behind, and then you see he's a jump behind here, and then you see what happens when he lands. It's just incredible.
And that is where you did the 8, Bucci did the 8, Fuchs did the 9. That's why he got behind.
Yeah.
Fuchs did
From
that.
1 to 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So a full jump, actually, difference between Fuchs and Bucci. This is how it continues between the two rivals in the jump off.
And then this is such a cool turn from Martin, you know. Really sticks to the inside here and pulls the advantage back, you know, really cat and mouse at the minute. It's really cool what he did. See, he just fell to the inside and just kept coming through the inside turns.
Yeah, and exactly level again.
Leveled it up.
From here, the two men continue, and actually they stay kind of level, Fuchs and Bucci.
Yeah, so now they're head and head. They keep that the whole way. Get into the double exactly the same time. Both perfect in. Bucci gets a little bit deeper on the oxer in the middle, and I think that helps him when he lands a little bit steeper. You see he's actually behind here at the minute, but he lands a little bit steeper, and that really helps him get away from the jump when he lands.
Let's bring that back. We're going to show this in slow motion so you can explain it.
So they both get the same jump in. Bucci gets a little bit close, a bit more of an up and down jump. Martin gets a smoother jump, lands further away lands further away from the jump, and is able to, you see here, you see what's happened. He's much closer here. You see, you can actually see the screen in this one, and he's completely on the inside.
Yeah, and the Letterie, the Montaigu fence.
Yeah.
Martin is past it, and PG Bucci is behind it. Okay, let's play it out.
So that really smooth turn back gives him the advantage now, and he just really coolly brings it home. Doesn't panic, and it's the smallest of margins. But just that turn back, landing a little bit dead, getting that inside line helps him to win the class.
And it's an interesting one because you speak of the deep stride to the oxer. Mm-hmm. That helps him shoot up and land steep so he can get a good turn.
Martin got a much further jump on the oxer.
This is the round of Julien Epaillard, again with Fringan de Vesquerie, who jumped 2 rounds in the Nations Cup and also 2 rounds in this Grand Prix, just like you, Gilles, and Hermitage. This is quite fast, Gilles.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Epaillard, the way he can ride the turns and the jump offs, and it looks like he's not going fast, but then when you see the times, he's always like 2-3 seconds faster than anyone else. Also here, his jump off. Okay, he was maybe a little open in the combination. That's why he got the fault. But actually, his all jump off looks so smooth and nice to watch. It looks like it doesn't make a lot of effort for the horse, and then is easily 2-3 seconds faster.
I think he starts training jump offs at 5 years old, doesn't he?
But the interesting thing, when you see Fringan, and we had the stats earlier, but when you see Fringan, he doesn't look like the extreme blood type horse. He is fast in the ring. However, you've experienced him differently. What is he like, for example, in the warm-up?
Yeah, he is definitely a blood horse. He's quite nervous in the warm-up. I think Epaillard knows him now already very good, so he has a bit his own preparation in the warm-up. He always goes a bit in the corner, try to relax the horse, then try to jump another fence, try to get there, because it's always quite...
So much blood.
Yeah, quite,
Wow,
quite a hectic horse in a warm-up.
How many fences do you think he jumps in the warm-up?
I think it depends a bit how much he can jump.
How many he can
yeah.
But what are we talking?
5 or 6 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Impressive. Because you see how fast he is, but you don't see that such a nervous horse.
No, absolutely not. He's such a technician, that man. Yeah. You know, in the jump-offs, the first...
Unbelievable. This week, he was for me already an outstanding rider, but after this week, he's really on top for me. The Nations Cup and the Grand Prix, it was phenomenal.
It's one of those things, I love watching him ride, but I couldn't ride like him.
Yeah.
You know, with the short stirrups and like a race jockey.
Don't try this at home.
Yeah, I couldn't ride like him, but I love watching him ride. He's so exciting to watch.
We didn't mention them in the Nations Cup. We are going to mention them here, by the way. Nations Cup, Irish with a massive comeback from just qualifying for the second round, really shooting up. There are 3 riders in that second round jumping all clears, so that Shane Sweetenham didn't have to compete with James Can Cruz. And then they did it again in the Grand Prix as well. These are the Irish. Joe, you said, we need to see a little bit more results from the Irish. That was last week. This week, I think they watched the horse show.
Maybe. Incredible. I think this is nearly the championship team. It could be. It could be the championship team we watch, you know. I mean, Bertram's done an amazing job. I said already at the beginning of the season, this horse should be on the team. I think obviously Shane Sweetenham always was going to be there. And now you've got Shane Keane coming in.
Yep.
So that's also perfect timing. And what a comeback. I mean, keeping it cool and really nearly not qualifying for the second round to ending up third, I think.
Yeah, Nations Cup,
Serious guy. And fight, you see they were fighting for the places, no?
Absolutely, really.
Yeah. And Darragh also. What a second round was perfect.
Yeah. Let's bring up the results of that Grand Prix in La Baule Grand Prix. A Rolex Grand Prix, Ville de la Baule, with a win for Piergiorgio Bucci and Hantano. Martin Fuchs, second, then Epaillard, O'Connor, Bertram, and Gilles Thomas. And Pieter de Vos, all the top 7 from the jump-off. Then the very fast 4 from Petronella Andersson, then Richard Vogel, Nina Malvet is 10th, and then further down, Brash van Eckerman, Leonie Conter, Fernandez, Ryan Heiners-Duyse, Nassar, and Natalie Dean with a rail and a time penalty. Piergiorgio Bucci.
He's in shape.
He's on top of the game.
Isn't he? Yeah.
I didn't look it up how many people have won multiple Grand Prix this year on different horses, 5-star Grand Prix on different horses. I didn't look it up.
I think he won in Mexico and Rome with the grey one.
Yeah.
And then now with Hantano in...
So that's 3 Grand Prix on 2 different horses. Scott won on different horses out in Al Shakab. Kent won one with Grea and Descartes. And I think there's not many people who won 2 Grand Prix on different horses.
5-star Grand Prix. No, I don't know. I didn't look at the stats.
Yeah, he just moved back to Italy.
Yeah, I didn't know he'd moved back to Italy.
The pasta must have
changed him. Yeah, it's the pasta. It's definitely the pasta.
Yeah, he ate pasta in the Netherlands, but the Italian pasta
is different.
He apologized. He wanted to come to the show. We asked him. He tried everything he could, but he could not make the timing. He was in a train all the time. It was so. But he promised to come back when he won his 4th Grand Prix, or if he would win the World Championship.
It's a cool guy. Should get him on the show.
PG, we are waiting for you. What you might also be waiting for is the Grand Prix in Spruce Meadows. 4 5-star Grand Prix over the time span of 5 weeks. This was the national out in Spruce Meadows with a remarkable, how should I say it? Remarkable dressing of the show. It was a pairing between Mattel and Spruce Meadows. So it was the Barbie weekend. And that is why everybody was dressed in pink.
Mattel is the name of the maker.
Company behind Barbie.
Barbie, yeah. Okay.
So there was Gilles.
Were the riders also dressed same?
Wait,
They should have made the
here comes
riders
the course
dressed in
designer.
pink as well.
Here's the course designer. Oh, Olaf
yeah.
Pedersen.
I want to see Jos.
No, yeah, we'll talk about him in a minute.
Pink
Maybe
boxer
his
shorts.
underwear.
Pink boxer shorts.
Yeah, pink boxer shorts. So straight away was out of the Alcântara ring into the international ring. What a beautiful arena that is with all those fences.
Iconic. It's such an iconic ring. Beautiful. It's up there with Aachen, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Because Niels made us hungry for Spruce. I'm actually thinking we should go to Spruce once. Maybe a horse show road trip. Yeah.
Okay.
You're in. That's good.
But Barbie weekend.
Then we have to wait a year.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Václav Stanek won this Grand Prix last year, Joe. Now he brought in Kalipo, who jumped his first meter 60 5-star Grand Prix. Just came short, not on Quinten, his go-to 5-star horse.
It was a really solid round. Really solid. And I thought he was quick enough, actually. I wasn't even looking at the time when he was coming home. It was a really solid round.
Yeah. And then also Connor Swail. Oh, there, he also didn't see it coming. And Connor Swail, he was just more than a second outside the time allowed on Klonterm Obolensky.
I kind of saw that one coming.
Yeah.
Looked a little bit relaxed in the course. Jumped very good.
The last line made most victims in the 31 horse and rider field. Why was it such a technical line? We'll play out a few. Here is Juan Pablo Gaspar Albañez.
Yeah, you know, it didn't look that technical. A lot of people struggling with the combination. Actually, to keep the horses straight, a lot of horses were drifting off to the right. And then the last line was just getting very short. And it was, I think it was a 180 spread on the ox towards the end of the course. And you know, also before that, I mean, there was a roll back to a wall, to a triple bar. And I think end of the course, 14 jumps as well. It looked like it was coming a little bit down the hill. That also plays a big difference in Spruce.
A lot of jumping at the end, rollback. Again, roll back to a ball, actually, now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, roll back to a wall. And I think it was coming down the hill. Fitness also. I think you're jumping quite high above sea level there as well. So I think the fitness. And I don't think there was a massive amount. There were a lot of first timers in there. Yeah. Wasn't a massive amount of 5-star riders.
Yeah. Okay. To the jump off went a select group. It was remarkable what happened actually in that jump off. Everybody wanted to win. That was clear. But all of a sudden, there's one line that really stood out and took out most of the riders. Let's bring that up. That was a line 4 to 5. They had jumped this already in the first round.
Yeah, I think this looks very optically difficult to jump. You know, with the red and white squares, I think horses do find that type of jump very difficult. That was just too deep and a little bit with his body unbalanced. So it was a few different things. Again, just a bit casual with the back end.
You made an interesting comment about fence types and length of rails that might explain the faults on fence 4 and fence 5 in the jump off.
Yeah, there in Calgary, most of the jumps are, I think, 5 or 6 meters wide?
Yeah,
like a triple combination.
Yeah,
those fences are huge. You can jump with 3 or 4 horses next to each other through the triple.
Yeah.
And then if you have to come then after all the wide jumps to just a normal fence from 3.5 or 4 meters wide, it looks like a skinny jump. And then I think, the horses, they are losing a bit of attention on that, yeah.
It's a really interesting take, because you think of Spruce Meadows with those 6-meter rails, and if you then throw in those normal rails, that horses do look differently at them. It's an interesting one. Your buddy, if I may say that, team buddy on the Belgian team, Jos Verlooy went there. We saw him last week already, but now
I think this week he had a very good week. He won also a 150 class, I think. And then with Nixon, was an amazing result. I think it really will give him a boost for Jos. I think Nixon was a bit injured last year, but now he's back again. He jumped already in Mannheim, very good, the 3-star, or was it the 4-star Nations Cup? He jumped double clear, and then now second in the Grand Prix. I think it's, last week he also jumped a 5-star Grand Prix, maybe first time with Jos.
That was 616 days between the last 5-star Grand Prix and the one of last week.
Yeah, so I think, it's really nice for Jos. He went all the way there. I think I can imagine a bit long weeks there, but then if you have a result like that, it's all worth to go there.
Did you have him on the phone?
I text him. Okay, with the time difference, it's a bit difficult. And then I also saw it too late. He answered his message just before I had to write the jump off. So he said, "You can go full gas, a bit faster than me." But I wrote it too late, so I answered him.
That's why.
You also need to make turns in jump offs, not only go fast.
Verlooy, in the end, finishes second. Joe, the first ever 5-star Grand Prix win in his career for Mark Bluman. I think he's won every class that exists. From a meter 45 two-phase to speed classes to anything and everything.
Won a lot of classes.
But he never won a 5-star Grand Prix. This is the first one for Mark Bluman with Landon Denese.
And I don't think it's going to be the last. This partnership is just growing from strength to strength. I love the combination. I said it before, I love the horse. Makes me a little bit sick when I watch it because I did try it once and ended up not buying it. So that's one of the ones that got away. But I'm so happy it found its rider now. And that's really something with our sport. You know, when you have a horse like that, we've seen it jumping with other riders, and now it's really found its rider. It makes such a difference, doesn't it?
You've also seen this horse as a youngster, Gilles, and you even had, I don't want to say that you had doubts, but you had a specific idea, if I could say, about it.
Yeah, it's always been an amazing horse. I still can remember when it was jumping the Belgian Championship for 7 years old in Operabeek, I think. I was also there. And it's always jumping with the last qualities. So I definitely knew that he was like a winner, that he would win good classes. To 5-star level, maybe like some Grand Prix on sand, a bit with light material. So at that point, I never thought that he could win a 5-star Grand Prix in a ring like Calgary.
I think. Sorry.
No, but yeah. Also, you see if the horse has the mind, and you give the right time to the horses. He was also last week there. I don't know if he jumped him straight away.
No, was the last week he jumped
the
I think that's also very smart of him. Jumped in the first week, not the biggest classes. Let him grow a bit into that ring. And then, when horse like this with the last quality of all the confidence in the rider, then they can start to win Grand Prix like this.
We are always talking about France and Holland and Germany as teams that will go to the championships. Colombia is not a team, or doesn't have a team, I think, that will battle for the medals. However, there is individual opportunities as well for somebody like Mark Bluman.
Absolutely.
With a horse that does well on grass now and seems to be liking solid fences as well.
I think he'll definitely be at the championship. I can't see why he wouldn't. I think he must be the #1 Colombian rider. I hope I'm right saying that. Certainly the one that I've seen jumping the most clear rounds at the minute. So I hope he's there. Be really nice if he's there. It'd be really nice to watch him there.
Yeah. I think also his brother is also doing very well. He's riding for Israel, but
a different team now. That's a shame, isn't it? It's a shame. It would have been cool if they were both on the championship together.
This is how much it meant to Mark Bluman. Coming out of the ring under the bell tower, his first ever 5-star Grand Prix. You mentioned it, Joe. You had contact with him previously when we spoke about this horse, how delighted he was with this horse. Mm-hmm. This is a 5-star Grand Prix win. Like many riders win one. Bucci has won 3 this season, but it did mean a great deal to Mark Bluman. I think it's also got to do with who owns it and how they've bought it for him with ambitions and with plans.
Yeah, I think your first 5-star win is always incredible. And obviously this means a great deal to him. But I think he's really enjoying his... I mean, he's got some amazing horses now together. And he deserves it. He's a hard worker. He's a super rider. And now he's starting to build some 5-star horses and making 5-star results. So good on him.
Grand Prix number 2 in Spruce Meadows, not the Barbie Grand Prix, but the RBC Grand Prix of Canada, presented by Rolex. At the Spruce Meadows National, a win for London and Mark Bluman. Then Nixon with Jos Verlooy in second, the only 2 double clears. Daniel Coy with a very fast Pharrell. Look at that time, 41.99, a horse that measures less than 1.60 meter actually. Amy Miller, Jardena, Gabriel de Matos from the first round, then Vaclav Stanek and Conor Swale on the time penalties. Sameh Eldahan literally bounced back after his fall of last week. Nicole Walker in 10 on a fast 4 as well. And then down the list with Kyle King in 19th. There we've made a mistake in our graphic because Kyle King is no longer competing for the US, but is actually competing for Canada.
Yes.
Yeah, Kyle King made that swap as well. What is coming up this week? All eyes on the Netherlands, all eyes on Rotterdam, because it is the CHIO with also the dressage in Rotterdam, but we're focusing on the show jumping Friday at 4:30, the Longines League of Nations. So it is part of those 4 stages that qualify for Barcelona. That is on Friday. Saturday, the Biersgoed Prize is a 1.50 class with jump-off, supported by the In and Out studio. And on Sunday, 2:30, the Grand Prix of Rotterdam, the Huawei Prize with jump-off, In and Out studio. I think it is Phil Gazala and James Fisher, certainly for the Nations Cup on commentary, and it is Amy Parks and Charlotte Smet for the In and Out studio. It's an important one there in Rotterdam, an important Nations Cup. France have got a few riders still fighting for it. Brazil come out with a full team. Mansour, Zanotelli with Elex, De Menezes, Rodrigo Pessoa. I think they'll be also fighting for some valuable spots, keeping in mind Freitas Barga, Diniz, Great Britain, Italy, and of course then maybe one of the teams,
What's the British team?
Harry and Sienna Charles.
Yeah.
Ben Meyer with Point Break, and Jessica Mendoza with Summerhouse.
Okay.
So that's an interesting one. And USA with Carl Cook on Foxy, Kidainen with Out of the Blue, Marilyn Little with La Contessa, and Kelly Schott with Garant. There's a few decisions.
Yeah, there's a few, you can see what the chef keeps doing, putting a few in there.
Gilles, is there a date or like a moment when selections close for the Belgian selection? Like, is there decision being made after Rotterdam, or do you know when decisions will be made?
Normally they are made after Valsebo.
Valsebo, okay.
Yeah.
So we can drag this story
inside. Don't know a little bit.
No, not at all.
We can drag this story 1 week longer to Valsebo. That comes up afterwards. Gilles, thank you very much. Congratulations on a great weekend. We hope that you will come back to the studio. Joe, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Congratulations on a great weekend. We hope that you will come back to the studio.
Definitely.
Yeah. Rotterdam coming up this week. And to you at home, as always, thank you very much for reaching out and for the feedback that you sent us on Instagram as well. Very, very much appreciated. See you next week. A new week and a new horse show coming up.